In an unexpected twist, King Charles has decided to completely cut ties with Doria Ragland, Meghan Markle's mother, who was once seen as a figure of elegance and support. Yes, the same Doria who was celebrated for her strong presence at Prince Harry and Meghan's wedding now faces an astonishing royal rejection, colder than the winter winds sweeping through Buckingham Palace's gardens. It was meant to be the perfect fairy tale moment. Meghan, glowing with joy, Harry's eyes full of love, and Doria proudly standing beside her daughter, sharing in the royal approval. But, as it turns out, fairy tales are better suited for stories. In a shocking turn of events, King Charles has stripped Doria of her royal allowance, making a bold move that rocked the monarchy. The British royal family is now caught in a massive scandal, leaving everyone from Buckingham Palace to Frogmore Cottage questioning how a mother who once embodied grace could fall so far. The truth behind her sudden fall from favor lies in the complex world of royal politics, secrets, and hidden truths. MI6, the renowned British intelligence agency, recently uncovered shocking details about Doria's past, secrets that no one expected. Those who once respected her for her strength and resilience as a social worker and yoga instructor may have overlooked some warning signs. Doria's life, it turns out, was not as perfect as it seemed. Criminal records, financial issues, and questionable connections have surfaced, revealing a side of Doria that the public never saw. These revelations make you wonder just how many layers of the royal family's carefully crafted image might be uncovered in the days ahead. But let's take a step back. How did Doria, once known for her quiet strength, get so involved in royal politics? How did someone who seemed so distant from scandal become caught up in the monarchy's most sensitive matters? It all traces back to one key event: the wedding of Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. At that moment, Doria was the picture of grace. She stood at the altar with Meghan, tears of joy flowing, her daughter's emotions matching her own as the world watched in awe. For a brief moment, it seemed like the Markle-Ragland family had truly arrived, ready to rewrite the royal script with their fresh perspective. Doria, once a quiet yoga teacher from California, had earned the royal family's trust and respect, becoming a confidant and a key part of Meghan's new royal life. But that was then. Recent findings have shown a darker side: financial troubles, links to questionable individuals, and signs of questionable dealings have come to light. Beneath her calm exterior and seemingly good intentions, there are whispers of a more complex, less spotless past. These revelations may help explain why King Charles wisely chose to end her royal allowance. Things have taken a surprising turn for Doria. She was once a respected member of the royal family, but now her presence has become a burden. While other family members, especially those who have always been in the public eye, have managed to keep things professional, Doria's past mistakes have become too big to overlook. The royal family, known for avoiding scandals, couldn't ignore them. And with the drama of Harry and Meghan's departure still fresh, cutting off Doria's royal allowance wasn't just about money. It was a powerful message about how fragile trust can be in the royal family. The impact of this decision is significant. It's not just the monarchy's reputation on the line. Harry and Meghan now face the painful reality of their mother's royal status being undermined. How will they handle this apparent slight against Doria? Meghan, who has long endured intense media scrutiny and tensions with the royal family, is likely to feel deeply protective of her mother. But what steps is she prepared to take to defend her in the face of such rejection? As this news spreads through Frogmore Cottage, where the Sussexes currently live, the strain on family dynamics is undeniable. The couple, already under the relentless spotlight of public attention, now faces a new dilemma. Should they stand up for Doria, or stay silent and try to ride out the controversy? Whatever choice they make, it's bound to escalate the drama, further adding yet another layer to their already complex story. The royal family and the monarchy as a whole now face a challenging task. Shaping public perception is no easy job, especially in a time when people expect openness and accountability. King Charles, who has been striving to modernize the monarchy, now finds himself dealing with a scandal that strikes at the core of family, loyalty, and the institution's integrity. At the center of this controversy is a hard truth many would prefer to overlook: the monarchy's long-standing dependence on a carefully crafted public image. For years, the royal family has portrayed itself as a symbol of tradition, elegance, and stability. Now, that image is under scrutiny like never before. Scandals like this threaten to shake the foundation of the monarchy. Doria's missteps and the royal family's reaction to them revealed just how delicate that carefully crafted image really is. This also brings up an important question. In a world that increasingly focuses on the flaws of public figures, how long can the monarchy maintain its illusion of perfection? The public's response to King Charles's decision has been predictably split. Some see it as a necessary move to preserve the crown's integrity, while others interpret it as an unjust attack on Meghan and her family. Social media has erupted, with debates over loyalty, fairness, and justice, adding fuel to an already heated situation. As the scandal continues to escalate, the monarchy's future feels increasingly uncertain, with every new revelation adding more intensity to the situation. Doria's response to this apparent royal betrayal will be pivotal in determining the next chapter of this unfolding drama. Will she quietly accept her exclusion from the royal circle, or will she fight back, further complicating the royal family's already fragile public image? The court of public opinion is unpredictable, and history has shown how quickly it can shift. One wrong move could turn things upside down for the monarchy in an instant. As the dust begins to settle and the royal family works to navigate this latest scandal, one thing is certain: the monarchy stands at a crossroads. Will it hold tightly to its traditional ideals, or will the pressure of public scrutiny eventually force it to adapt and change? Only time will reveal the answer, but the consequences of this drama are sure to echo for years to come. Whether the royal family can emerge from this controversy unscathed, or if this marks the beginning of its decline, remains uncertain. While the monarchy has historically endured scandals with remarkable grace and resilience, the current uproar surrounding Meghan Markle and Doria Ragland is impossible to ignore. As the reputations of Meghan and Doria face one blow after another, it's hard not to wonder if redemption is even possible, despite the relentless efforts of their PR team. Doria Ragland, once celebrated as a picture of maternal grace, now finds herself caught in a storm of speculation. Given her enigmatic past, her image of elegance now seems less like reality and more like a carefully orchestrated media creation. It's difficult to reconcile her fall from royal favor with the glowing reputation once built around her. What's even more puzzling is Meghan's unwavering alignment with her mother. Meghan, who has worked tirelessly to position herself as a champion of justice and empathy, now seems tied to someone whose unfolding history has become a cautionary tale. In preserving credibility, this alignment raises questions about the image Meghan is striving to uphold and the impact it may have on her own reputation. The irony here is hard to miss. Meghan, who once claimed to champion a new era of transparency and fairness, now finds herself embroiled in one scandal after another, all while portraying herself as a victim of circumstance. Her efforts to reinvent herself as a symbol of modernity have only drawn more attention to her increasingly inconsistent actions. It seems that every step she takes serves as a reminder that perhaps she should have paused to reevaluate her so-called advocacy. While Meghan strives to project an image of activism and altruism, the reality paints a far less flattering picture. She has become the face of a new kind of royalty, one more focused on crafting a narrative of rebellion than on delivering meaningful work or tangible contributions. The real tragedy, perhaps, lies in the fact that while Meghan seems to be emulating her mother's once graceful public persona, Doria has turned out to be yet another piece in a puzzle that simply doesn't fit. That said, the public hasn't completely ruled out the idea of redemption for Meghan and Doria. After all, people love a good comeback story. But for these two, redemption feels like a distant goal. There's something about watching two individuals so tangled in their own contradictions that has left audiences skeptical at best and indifferent at worst. As Meghan continues to push a brand built on values that often clash with her own actions, Doria, once the calm and supportive figure by her side, now seems reduced to a mere footnote in a much larger, unpredictable scandal. No matter how hard Meghan tries to separate herself from her family's troubled past, she remains deeply tied to it. She can tell endless stories of injustice and media harassment, but the harsh reality of her circumstances is unavoidable. Doria's role, whether intentional or not, in fueling this narrative only worsens the situation, making the challenges Meghan faces even harder to escape. Let's not overlook Meghan's calculated approach of casting herself as the victim. In a world eager to label her anything from a resilient underdog to a royal outcast. In this narrative, Doria has played the role of an intriguing sidekick. Throughout this unfolding drama, Meghan has worked to position herself as the voice of reason, challenging outdated royal traditions, while Doria often appears as the hesitant, yet outspoken supporter standing firmly by her side. Behind the scenes, it seems both women have underestimated just how much their pasts have become liabilities. While the rift between Meghan and the royal family is already clear, it's Doria's recent expulsion that remains a puzzling twist. The real question now is whether this will catapult Meghan into the spotlight she craves, or if it will only emphasize the widening cracks in their already fragile connection to the monarchy. Will Meghan, always the advocate for justice, come to accept her place as an outsider, forever on the fringes of royal life? Or will she keep distancing herself from Doria in a bid to stay relevant? One thing is certain, her options are becoming fewer by the day. And we all know how Meghan thrives on the attention. It's clear that Meghan thrives on the drama, using it to fuel her public image. But does she truly have the emotional strength to keep carrying the burden of her mother's disgrace? Or will she choose to distance herself from Doria in a bid to protect whatever respectability she has left? It's hard to see this situation ending without more public confrontations, only adding to the ongoing headlines that continue to chip away at the carefully crafted image they've worked so hard to build. As for Doria, she has learned the hard truth. Loyalty only stretches so far. Her own choices, or lack of them, have come with consequences. Now that her past is out in the open, the public is far less forgiving. It almost seems like the royal family's sudden decision to cut her off wasn't just about Doria's past or associations, but also about a deep need to protect their reputation from anything that could tarnish it. For Doria, the royal fairy tale is over, and now the difficult task of rebuilding her image begins, if that's even possible. Perhaps the most striking aspect of this entire saga is how expertly Meghan and Doria have turned every scandal into an opportunity for self-promotion. Whether through deflecting public criticism or crafting a narrative that paints them as the underdog, both women seem to turn any negative situation to their advantage. But how long can they keep this up as the pressure builds? With public support for Meghan starting to fade, Doria may soon realize that her daughter's efforts to challenge the royal establishment only highlight how far they've moved away from the once sacred values of the institution. In this ongoing royal saga, Doria's once flawless image has been forever damaged, leaving Meghan to try and pick up the pieces. But no amount of PR can shield the truth indefinitely. As more revelations come to light, the picture becomes clearer. Meghan and Doria are no longer merely victims of the system. They are starting to become the architects of their own downfall. The clock is ticking on their story, and it's unclear how much longer they can control the narrative. Soon enough, the public may lose interest in the story they've been trying to sell. Let's be honest. If Doria Ragland were a fictional character, she'd likely be the villain. Her true intentions barely concealed beneath a carefully crafted mask of calm and composure. But in this real-life royal drama, the character is all too real, and the consequences of her actions, especially in how she raised Meghan Markle, can't be ignored. To say that Doria's parenting left Meghan woefully unprepared for the realities of life, let alone royal life, is an understatement. Despite her efforts to be the wise, serene mother, Doria clearly didn't equip her daughter with the tools needed to handle the complexities of public life, especially the ruthless scrutiny that comes with being tied to the British royal family. Instead, it seems Meghan has embraced a version of herself that doesn't align with the expectations or traditions of her role. However, it wouldn't be fair to place all the responsibility for this misstep solely on her. Doria's influence is evident. Frankly, it's unfortunate that someone who portrays themselves as a calm and wise figure ended up raising a daughter whose choices and judgment often appear misguided. It feels like Doria may have encouraged a sense of entitlement in Meghan. Time and again, Meghan has disregarded traditional royal customs, all while portraying herself as a champion of modern values. Here's the thing. Royalty, with its deep history and legacy, isn't something that changes to fit anyone's personal agenda. Yet, Meghan stepped into that world, seemingly fueled by a sense of self-importance that Doria helped shape. The unfortunate truth: she continues to push her narrative, expecting the world to accept it, even when her actions come across as out of touch or poorly thought out. Now let's consider Doria's role in all of this. Meghan's behavior and her relentless media presence suggest she was taught to use the press and public opinion to her advantage, no matter the consequences. Is it harsh to point this out? Maybe. But is it fair? Absolutely. The truth is, the saying, "the apple doesn't fall far from the tree," feels fitting here, as Doria's influence is hard to miss. Meghan's habit of framing every misstep as a royal injustice seems to reflect lessons learned early on. After all, how could a mother, so eager to share the spotlight with her daughter, fail to recognize the clear flaws in Meghan's approach to the media? Doria may present herself as calm and understanding, but a closer look raises questions about the guidance she provided. Were the lessons she passed down truly constructive? Of course, teaching independence and encouraging someone to speak their truth are valuable, but it's hard to see how those principles played out effectively here. Stepping into a role that demands respect for tradition and an awareness of one's own limits requires a firm grip on reality. Unfortunately, that message seems to have been missed. And here's the real issue: the glaring lack of understanding about what royalty truly represents. Doria, alongside Meghan, has positioned herself as some kind of modern revolutionary, intent on challenging an institution that has endured wars, scandals, and even assassinations over centuries. But the idea that Meghan and her mother would be the ones to dismantle royal traditions is frankly absurd. The British monarchy, a symbol of resilience through history's greatest challenges, isn't about to be reshaped by two women who believe their modern ideals can redefine what it means to be royal. The public backlash Meghan has faced for her behavior says a lot. It almost feels like Doria is trying to shield her from the natural consequences of her choices. But is that truly fair to Meghan? Is it right to protect her from criticism she has undeniably earned, especially when the world can clearly see how chaotic her efforts to reshape the royal narrative have been? What makes it worse is Doria's unwavering defense of her daughter, no matter how unreasonable or misguided Meghan's actions become. Instead of helping, this blind support only adds fuel to the fire, making an already messy situation even harder to untangle. It only makes their eventual downfall feel all the more certain. The sheer audacity to believe they could maintain this facade indefinitely is truly remarkable. Doria's insistence on portraying Meghan as a misunderstood victim, wronged by a family that supposedly fails to value her, only highlights how out of touch they both seem with reality. The British public sees right through it. The monarchy sees through it. Even those who once supported Meghan are now questioning why they should stand behind someone who seems so unwilling to grasp her role and its responsibilities. The idea that Meghan and Doria still believe they hold any moral high ground is almost comical. What's even more puzzling is their refusal to back down. Defending your child is one thing, but ignoring the harm being done to the very institution they claim they want to reform is something else entirely. This relentless denial only deepens the disconnect between their actions and reality. This isn't just about Meghan. It's about the entire illusion they've tried to sell to the public. Doria, with her serene demeanor and yoga teachings, might have shown Meghan that life can be a journey of self-expression and peace. But what she failed to teach her is that true peace doesn't come from endless media appearances and grandiose speeches. Peace comes from understanding your role, knowing when to step back, and respecting the history you're trying to be part of. The British royal family isn't a reality show. It's a centuries-old institution built on tradition and dignity. Meghan, with all her boldness, has done little more than tarnish that legacy. And by enabling Meghan's every whim, Doria has only fueled this downward spiral. Doria has raised a daughter who believes she can reshape the monarchy in her own image, without grasping the core values that have kept it standing for centuries. Even more troubling, Doria has aligned herself as a key player in Meghan's relentless campaign against the royal family. When history reflects on this chapter, it won't just be Meghan remembered for attempting to challenge the monarchy, it will be Doria standing right beside her. This isn't simply a case of a mother being overly supportive. It's about two women who, time and again, failed to understand the impact of their actions. And the British public? They've had enough. People no longer want to see or hear from them. If you've enjoyed this exploration into royal controversies and want to stay updated on the latest developments, make sure to like, share your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe. Big updates are on the way. You won't want to miss them. See you in the next video.